The experience that really made me decide that I was on the wrong side. I was back in Tennessee visiting my parents, and I picked up my hometown newspaper, and I read about something called a healthcare expedition that was being held a few miles from where I grew up. And I noticed that the organizers was this group called Remote Area Medical, and it was started several years ago to fly doctors from the U.S. to the Amazon and to Africa to take doctors there to provide free medical care to people who didn't have access to care at all. Well, this organization realized pretty quickly that we have a great and growing need in this country to provide care to our own people. I hate to admit this, but in my corporate job in the skyscraper in Philadelphia, I just had let myself become removed from the reality of what happens in so many people's lives. But this experience brought it home to me. This expedition was being held at a county fairgrounds in Weiss County, Virginia, in the southwestern part of the state in the southern Appalachians. I walked through the fairground gates and was just absolutely stunned at what I saw. It was a life-changing experience. It was truly my road to Damascus experience. I saw hundreds, actually thousands of people who were standing in line to get care that was being provided by doctors who were providing their time over a 3-day period of time. People were standing in line in the rain. Many of them had slept in their cars. Many of them had driven from Ohio and West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia. They had waited in line, had gotten up before dawn to stand in line to get a number so that they could be assured of getting inside the fairground gates. Once inside there, they had to stand in other long lines to get care that was being provided in animal stalls and in barns. And it was more than I could bear. It brought it home to me, what happens to so many people. And I learned that a lot of those people had insurance. They were in the kinds of plans that I spoke about. The kinds of plans that the insurance companies want to move us all into, so that we all will be underinsured. 25 million of us are there already. If they get their way with the legislation in Washington, we'll all be there, folks. We'll all be there. They want to move us there, so they won't have to pay for our care when we need it, because that means they will be able to send more of your premium dollars to shareholders. Since 1993, the amount of money that we pay in premiums that's used to pay for medical care has dropped from 95 cents to about 80 cents a day. That has happened as three things have happened. Our health insurance companies that we used to think of as nonprofit organizations have converted rapidly to for-profit organizations. There's been a great consolidation in the industry. 1 out of every 3 of us that has insurance is enrolled in a healthcare plan managed by just 7 of the largest for-profit insurance companies, 2 of which I used to work for, CIGNA and Humana. So they have grown into a cartel of big health insurance companies. And they pretty much control what goes on in Washington, to tell you the truth, and to be very blunt with you. But there's also been something else. There's been concentration in the marketplace. We do not have the kinds of choices that they think that we do, or we think that we do, and that they try to make us think we do. In most markets, just 1 or 2 big insurance companies dominate. And that is, again, something that has happened in the last several years. And it's all for the benefit of the insurance companies, because they're able to send more and more of your premium dollars to pay corporate executives or to send to shareholders. That is not sustainable. We cannot continue to let that happen. I know that all of you are watching very carefully to see what does happen in Washington this year, and I'm optimistic that something beneficial will, believe it or not, happen this year. I am someone who has been talking positively about the prospects and the possibilities of a public option. It's about the best we can hope for this year because of the political realities of Washington. Is it the ultimate? No, it's not. But I'll tell you something. There are 45,000 people who are dying every year because they don't have insurance. We need to do something right now. We cannot wait. right now. We need to get what we can get. And I hope that we'll all understand that it's not perfect, but it is something that is going in the right direction. And I know from talking to many members of Congress that they want to do the right thing. Many of them do. Obviously, many of them are bought and paid for by the insurance industry and other special interests. But there are more, fortunately this time, I think, that really want to do the right thing for their constituents. And that's what I've been trying to do, is to make sure also that they understand that one of the tactics of the insurance industry is to try to beat us down, to try to get us discouraged, to try to think that it's not worth fighting for. It's not going to happen. The public option cannot pass. That is part of the strategy. It can pass, and I believe it can be beneficial. And I'm hopeful that what legislation the President signs will include a public option that will help people who don't have insurance, help people who are underinsured. The President did say in his joint session in Congress a few weeks ago that he would like to be the last president to deal with this issue. He's not going to be, folks. That legislation might help some, but it's not going to be the ultimate solution to what we need. He said he wanted to have a healthcare system in which not one of us will have to be forced into bankruptcy because of medical bills, or have to move out of our homes because of foreclosure. Sadly, the bills that are working through Congress, that's not going to fix that problem. We're going to see that continue. It may help, but it's not going to be the solution. So that's why my hat is off to you guys for doing what is the best work to get us to the solution that we ultimately need. We need, though, as this debate winds down and something happens in Washington, to really regroup and redouble efforts here, to figure out and do a post-mortem of what happened this time. What happened to make it impossible for single-payer to be considered in the first place seriously in Washington? Why is that? Yeah, we need to understand exactly what happened. Analyze that. Take pages out of their opponent's playbook. This is the beginning of a movement. I'm so proud to be a part of it, and you can count on me to be there with you. Thank you very much.